Okay, the day's almost up anyway. Like, it's so frustrating because it's like I have so many questions I want to ask her. And so many things I want to tell her. If only I could make photos and bring them to her, or like paint pictograms myself. Like, I know a bunch of pictures. I would like to ask her about the Ashtrain project, like how to get in there. And about the vessel that I found it. I mean, let's go to the best place in the entire solar system to see this. Yeah, that would have been a funny death. Enjoy your meeting, Cassie. See you later. Absolute front seat view. Okay. I'm thinking. So Lana has a hypothesis that she may not be entirely alive. Yeah, she is not. She is not, unfortunately. Okay. Two things. Oh, and the ocean depths. I passed through the electric barrier and reached the coral forest at the planet's core. Didn't notice that we had an update here that we haven't read yet. Okay. So, big thing is of course the stranger, but before I do that, I have two things I would like to try. One of them is going back to the vessel and trying and inserting these coordinates and see if that gives us anything, even if we don't have a warp core. But before that, I would like to try and get into the Ash Twin core again. And the thing is, the only thing I can think of like the only thing, like the only way how to achieve that is that I can think of is to teleport in there. So I guess I have to go there and try a couple things with the towers there. Okay. Something I can also eventually try is going back to the other travelers, meaning Chert and Rebek, and see if I have some new dialogue options with them. But now let's give it a minute. I mean, I know I could have also rested, or I could also go to a camp, rest at the campfire and have time pass. But I'd rather be here early and start teleporting myself back and forth as soon as the towers are unveiled. I mean, that's the current theory on how to reach the eye of the universe, that you need to get a new warp core, and we know an advanced warp core has been created for the Ash Twin project. So that you somehow have to get that, and then go to the vessel, insert the coordinates, and get warped there, kinda. I mean, then the question is, do you warp Dark Bramble with you? Or at least part of it? What does that mean for the universe if you warp a life form that's basically a parasite to its eye? All rhetorical questions, of course. Interloper's still a fucking bastard? And forever will be a fucking bastard? Okay, I mean, let's see. What are we looking like? Okay, yeah, they're starting to show. Nice. So that should be the sun. And that's the twins here. Nice, 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 nice. I'll park my ship close, but not so close that... Okay, that seems good. That's close, but not so close that gets yeeted away, you know? I have been up here before and read this scroll, but let me reread it once the room downstairs is actually available. When visiting from the hanging city, we are planning the Ashram project at the high energy lab on Ember Twins equator. We are planning. Okay. I really hope I don't have to go back to the lab. I became lost on Ember Twin. My gratitude Remy found me. But the high energy lab is the building with the large solar panels. I'm surprised I didn't see it. Okay, I've been to the lab. I really hope I don't have to go back there, and I found everything. Right, there we are. Departure time. Returns warped. Okay, I'm back here. Also, I should probably get my oxygen refilled. Come on, this is a separate teleport. This is a separate teleport. Okay, that was kind of the idea, that you can kind of hide in this alcove and not be sucked up by the sand. And then kind of get teleported in. I can hear it coming. Yes! I knew it! 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 You fucking bastards. Okay, this is trippy. This is so fucking trippy. "12 minutes 56 seconds ago, received data from previous cycles. Masks receiving data from probe tracking module, Giant's Deep memory statue, Timber Hive memory statue." Interesting that the probe tracking module is orange. Okay, then I'm guessing I was the wrong impression. Like, okay, so there's not a third person. The probe tracking, like the probe tracking module statue, is really just connected to the Ashtrim project, and there's not a person connected to it. It's really just a project. Okay. I was under the impression that every statue is connected to a person and not necessarily just like a tech unit, but apparently that works as well. Thank Katila. 10 minutes until end of cycle transmission. Oh, hi. We have some reading to do. Yarrow, today we finished the excavation of Ash Twin. Here, in this space we carved, we will craft our most ambitious project yet, the Ash Trim project. Powerful enough to send information back in time. Callias, we've also finished relocating all subterranean plants we met while digging. Rami, we'll need to keep our eyes on how significantly we've altered the environment here. Pi, how far we've come since our experiments at the High Energy Lab. I still can hardly believe Rami's hypothesis was true. Thanks, Catilla. I'm also proud of myself. I'm also so proud that I didn't give up on that. And that, like, I had that idea, what, 10 hours ago? And tried to test it, but I tried it twice, but I got sucked up by the sand, and then tried it really late in the cycle because then the sand is not moving anymore. And I thought, hey, that worked, but you can't line it up that late. You basically have no time anymore. And now with the alcove, I was like, maybe that's it. So proud of myself. Can't imagine how energetic I am right now. Happy to hear that, Catilla. Okay, Poke just sent the warp core for the final tower to us from the Black Hole Forge. Now Ash Twin can be connected with Giant's Deep. Sent the warp core for the final tower. Now Ash Twin can be connected to Giant's Deep, where Cassava is working with Evans to craft the orbital probe cannon, and where Phlox is sculpting the memory statues. Cassava hypothesis was not by accident the core of our warp tower was the last to be forged. Hypothesis: the cores could have been forged faster if Cassava had interrupted my work less frequently to ask for updates. The important point is we are all connected through Ash Twin now, and also that I'm no longer needed for mediating your disagreements. Getting some personality here. This is why I immediately rejected your idea of asking for a tip, because I knew you could get it. Yeah. I mean, technically they aren't human, they are Nomai, but yeah. How, like, some... apparently some things connect all intelligent living creatures. Such as jealousy. And, yeah. Like rivalries and shit. They're like people for sure, yeah. Our friends on Giant's Deep tested the orbital probe cannon today. Mello tells me the cannon is doing well, and that Evans advocates for more launch power. If anyone can coax the maximum power from a device, Evans can. But then, if anyone can goad a device into exploding, that too is likely Evans. Perhaps I should check in with the orbital probe cannon crew in the interest of safety. Would it help to remind Evans that Mello, his love, will be one of the Nomai aboard the cannon, or is Mello part of the problem? Phlox and Das finished the memory statues today, and they are truly remarkable. When the Ash Trim project succeeds, or in the event it fails, the memory statues will activate. Okay, I wonder if we get an answer to that. What exactly are the criteria for success, and what exactly are the criteria for failure of the Ash Twin project? Because I'm not sure I fully understand those now. Hey, thanks for taking it from the meeting, Cassie. Yes, you missed something big. Catilla's making Minecraft villager noises again. The memory switch will activate, allowing us to gather more data before we shut down the project. Pi and Ida have worked hard on the sun station, and it at last is complete. If everything goes as planned, the structure will prompt the sun's explosion, which will in turn supply the power to Ash Twin project that the Ash Twin project requires. I'm impressed by their mental fortitude. This was the project's most difficult task in more ways than one. We're nearly ready to activate the Ash Twin project. Here's what will happen. First, the sun station will receive the order to fire at the sun, prompting it to explode. Okay, we've been to the sun station. That ain't happening. Using the energy from the resulting supernova, the Ash Twin project will send the order for the orbital probe cannon to fire back in time by 22 minutes. Exactly 22 minutes after these orders are received, the sun station will again trigger the supernova to send the probe data from this cannon launch back in time. In total, each cycle created by the Ash Twin project will last precisely 22 minutes. We can end each cycle at will. We can end this cycle at will. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this is the success path. The success path is the sun station activates, fires at the sun, triggers a supernova. The supernova triggers the Ash Twin project and sends, like, and it sends back in time the order for the orbital probe cannon to fire. And that basically starts the loop. Then the orbital probe cannon fires in a random location. It receives back the data from the probe and sends that to the Ash Twin project. And sends that back 22 minutes. Okay, but the funny thing is, when we were at the sun station, so basically we are in a success scenario, even though it didn't succeed, because when we were at the sun station, we read that it fired on the sun, at the sun, but it wasn't enough to trigger that wasn't enough to trigger a supernova. And we know what causes the sun to go supernova right now is the interloper colliding with it and basically speed running its life cycle to end it. So I guess they built all of this, prepared all of this, tried starting it, but the event that was supposed to trigger the supernova, which was the sun station firing at the suns, didn't do anything. That didn't work, so they could never start the cycle themselves. And then eventually one day, the interloper collided with the sun, caused a supernova, and triggered the Ash Twin project. And now their plans coming to fruition, and they're and none of them are there and alive to see it. These words are difficult to write. The sun station did not work. However, this is the closest we have ever been. The Ashburn project is theoretically sound. We were only unable to power it. Perhaps there is another way. Suppose we redesign the sun station. To generate power of that magnitude, a supernova is still our only viable option. I believe we can still find a way to create a supernova, my friend. Don't lose hope. Did they find a way? Because they found the interloper before it entered the solar system. As far as I've understood, the Nomai shuttle on the interloper landed there before the interloper technically entered the solar system. It was heading for the solar system, but it hadn't entered it. Did they change the trajectory of the interloper to cause this? Motherfuckers. This is easier expressed than accomplished. You can wait for the sun to explode on its natural timeline if you prefer, Adaya, but you'll need to find some way to halt our aging process. We are halting our research into creating a supernova for this moment. A comet has newly arrived in the solar system and we're anxious to explore it. So the interloper has arrived after they finished building all of this. It's been a very long time since we last explored somewhere new, so we're excited to welcome this comet. Imagine what knowledge might be gained there. That the mountains of the Ashburn project vlogs, they look beautiful. Okay, I believe all of these are readings we've had already in the respective places. Good news, the advanced warp core is ready to be installed in the central chamber of Ash Twin. No, it isn't. Had that at the forge. Ore shipment. Artificial gravity control. I guess I can turn that off. We're about to access the core while the Ashburn project is active. Caution. Removing the core will disable the Ashburn project. Okay. So the idea is, because this is an advanced warp core, I mean, I feel like I only have one shot at this. I only have one try for this if I disable the Ashram project. I have to get here bright and early, get the core, get the hell out, take my ship to Dark Bramble, go to the vessel, and enter the coordinates and go to the Eye of the Universe. I don't want to do that right now because the loop is almost up. Also, I haven't explored the Stranger yet, and I'm not sure if going to the Eye of the Universe will end the game, quote unquote, end the game. Thanks, Westfilm. I mean, I'm not going to do that right now, so I'm gonna just sit and wait here until the loop ends and maybe talk a little. But yeah, I think I'll also end stream for the day because I want to do the Stranger tomorrow, and then maybe we'll, or like the next stream, I should say. But yeah, I'm glad you found my stream as well, and I'm glad you were here. And have a great rest of your day. Almost at 5 hours? Yeah, that's a solid stream. And I feel like if we say next time we do the Stranger and just that, I mean, I can go back to my ship in this loop. I mean, we do have a little bit of time left. I can go back to my ship and read the log updates. Where's my ship? Oh! That's not where I parked, but it's a nice spot. Yeah, and I feel like if we just do the Stranger next time, that might be cool. Timing of made me nervous and I put it aside for a bit. See ya. Thanks for being here again. Have a great rest of your day. I like how this looks. Amazing progress today. I love it. So yeah, I'm guessing we're gonna read that and then like the updates we have here on the Ashburn project. And then next stream, which will probably be Friday. I'm planning for Friday at least. We'll see if that changes across the week, but I hope not. Yeah, then we're gonna do the Stranger, and once we're done there, if nothing else happens, if nothing else comes up, then it's just a mission, and I'm afraid we might just have one try for this. To go to the Ashburn project, get the core, like I said, go to the vessel, insert the coordinates for the Eye of the Universe, and yeah, launch that. Are you supposed to have Friday off? Oh. Yeah, it's not about you, but of course, if you have Friday off, that's of course fantastic. But, I mean, if I end up streaming on Friday, I hope nothing happens to hinder that. Then that would be dope. Alright, Ashtrim project. A hollowed out chamber inside Ashtrim. The energy cables from the surface are plugged into a protective casing at the center of the planet. There are 8 monoliths with Nomai masks attached. 3 of the masks are actively receiving data from the probe tracking module, Giant's Deep and Timber Harv respectively. The Ash Twin project was designed to use the energy from a supernova triggered by the Sun Station to send probe data from the orbital probe cannon 22 minutes into the past. The Sun Station did not work. Although the Ash Twin project was theoretically sound, the Nomai were unable to power it. There is an advanced warp core inside the protective casing at the center of the planet. Removing the core will disable the Ash Twin project. Can you give a last, this is what I understand is happening and what I have to do so we know exactly where your brain is at? Okay. What I understand is happening is that the Nomai followed a like a signal from what they call the eye of the universe to the solar system, crash landed on Dark Bramble, and 2 out of 3 escape pods made it to other places. I mean, you have the whole quantum moon thing going on with kind of the pilgrimage and all these lessons, and basically with all the stuff going on, they eventually built, like, this is all about reaching the eye of the universe, right? So basically all they've done was always with the goal, we want to reach the eye of the universe. Or the place that they call the eye of the universe. Eventually that led to the construction of the conception of and the construction of the Ash Twin project. Because they had trouble figuring out where it's located, built 2 locators, none of them worked, both of them didn't work, and eventually came up with the idea, hey, let's send out probes. But one of them pointed out the issue, yeah, we can do that, but the universe is vast, so we would have a 1 in a bazillion chance of actually firing the probe in the right direction. And with the observations they made from the white hole station, that actually when you warp between the black hole and the white hole, the object that is being warped actually arrives 1,000th of a second before it technically entered the black hole. They use that knowledge to and expanded on that to craft the idea of, hey, if we fire enough energy into a warp like that, we can send information back in time. And that combined with the probe idea, they went like, well, then we don't send 1 probe, but we send, like, we basically created a time loop and send infinite amounts until we eventually find it. And the Ash Twin project is basically the time loop system. So they have the masks, which collect the data from the statues in different places, like on the orbital probe cannon, on Timber Harv, on Giant's Deep. They connect either to a person or, in case of the probe cannon, some tech, and relay all the information they gather to, like, the central processing unit, if you will, in the core of Ash Twin. And then all the data gets saved here and sent back in time 22 minutes. It sounds kind of weird explaining it. Was that in any way, shape, or form understandable? What I mean? I feel every time you have a story with a time loop or time travel mechanic, it's kind of really hard to explain it. Think so? That was incredibly correct? Okay. Can you explain what you think you need to do? Okay. I mean, what I think I need to do, what's left for me to do, is reach the eye of the universe. I mean, that's to complete the game, right? To kind of, because that was the end goal. It was always the end goal for the Nomai, to reach the eye of the universe. And I have the coordinates from the probe tracking module. And what I need to do is go to the Ash Twin project, extract its core, which is an advanced, or what's it called? An advanced warp core, right? And take that, because that was the advanced warp core was crafted after the warp core on the vessel. That's what we read. That basically the warp core on the vessel was like, they didn't have it, but like they remembered how it was created and basically took that as how do you say that? As a departure point. It's the mental departure point to build the advanced warp core for the Ash Twin. So basically, what I think I have to do is to get the advanced warp core from here, from the core of the Ash Twin, bring it to the vessel because the warp core there is busted, and put the coordinates that we got from the probe into the input device, the one with the ball where I was fucking around with the symbols, and yeah, then activate it. And that should, in theory, warp me. That's my theory, that would warp the vessel and therefore me to the eye of the universe. Hi, welcome back, Cassie. You missed basically me running through across the Ash Twin project, reading all the stuff there, and now coming back to the ship, reading the log and discussing what I understand, what my understanding of the game is, and what I think I have to do. Well, you're welcome, Catilla. But I'm kind of worried about that, and I feel like, okay, it's just a theory, but since the computer, the Ash Twin project, told me that removing the core, it says here, that removing the core will disable the Ash Twin project. I mean, that for me means that once I remove the core, no more time loops will start. Meaning, whatever loop I will do that in, maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's how I understand this. If I understand this correctly, once I remove the core, the advanced warp core, from the Ash Twin project, no more loops will start. And if the sun explodes, it explodes. Any thoughts on the stranger, since I don't think it's the eye anymore? Not yet. Honestly, I know too little about it. Honestly, the stranger is just one. I mean, here in the log, it's one massive gap. In my head, it's one massive question mark. Thanks, Cassie. Also, yeah, I think I will end things here for today. I feel like we will make a good stream next time to focus on the stranger, explore that in depth, however long that takes. And then once I feel like I have everything, I've found everything on the stranger and fully explored it, to do what I just said, to go to the Ash Twin project, grab the advanced warp core, bring that to the vessel, hopefully not die, don't get snagged, and then enter the coordinates for the Eye of the Universe, and pray I don't fuck that up. Great progress and gaming today. Thank you guys. All right. Unbelievable. Unbelievable day. All right. Now it's all left is just to end this loop. I mean, I guess I could meditate. Well, you know, now I don't think we have enough time. I'll just meditate until the next loop.